All right, welcome back everyone. Last week, we really set the stage for Scheller's social philosophy. Today, we're going to dive into one of his most powerful and, I think, most subtle analyses. It's the concept he calls Mitfühlen, which we'll be translating here as emotional sharing. Now, this is a truly fascinating idea, and it's one that I think fundamentally challenges our very modern, very individualistic assumptions about what it even means to feel an emotion. Now, as you all know from your work on Husserl, this is classic phenomenology, right? Scheler doesn't just start us off with an abstract definition. No, he begins with a phenomenon, a concrete lived experience to help us get a direct grasp on the essence of the concept he's trying to illuminate. He presents us with this incredibly stark, devastatingly simple scene. And he argues that right here, within this experience, lies the key to understanding a totally unique mode of being with others. A mode that for him is foundational for building any kind of genuine community. And here is the crucial question he puts to us. You know, our common sense, our default mode, might tell us that, of course, they're each experiencing their own private grief, but Scheler insists that we look closer. He suggests something far more profound is happening here, a single shared sorrow. So our task today is to try and understand the very structure of that possibility. I mean, how is it even possible for an emotion to be singular, yet experienced by two completely distinct people?
Okay, so to really get a handle on what this emotional sharing is, Scheler does something he's really good at. In his typically meticulous way, he first clarifies what it is not. He gives us this whole detailed taxonomy to distinguish Mitfühlen from all these other kinds of emotional connection that we so often lump together and confuse.
Before we even get into his specific German terms, this basic distinction is incredibly helpful. Think about it. Feeling for someone, what we'd normally call sympathy, well, that's an intentional act that's directed at their feeling. My pity is about your pain. They're separate. But feeling with someone, well, that suggests something entirely different. It suggests a unified co-experience.
Okay, so this table really lays out Scheler's crucial distinctions. Let's walk through it. Down at the most basic level, you have emotional contagion and identification. Think of these as almost pre-personal, psychic infections, where your individual distinctness just gets lost, like in a panicked mob. Then, a step up, we have sympathy, or Mitgefühl. This is an ethically important act for sure. My feeling responds to your feeling, but they remain two separate emotional facts. And then finally, at the very top, we have what we're focused on, emotional sharing, Mitfühlen. This is the really unique case where the feeling is one, it's experienced as ours, and yet, and this is absolutely crucial, the individuality of each person is fully preserved, not dissolved.
So, if this emotional sharing isn't some kind of mystical fusion, and it's not just catching a feeling like you'd catch a cold, then what is its actual structure? Phenomenologically speaking, how does this we experience actually happen without just erasing the I and the you?
And Scheler is absolutely adamant on this point. He's saying it is not simply that you have two parallel griefs, plus the intellectual knowledge that, oh, that person over there is also grieving. No. He claims it is a single, unified phenomenon, a true feeling in common. This definition is really key. The experience is what you'd call constitutively interdependent. That means the feeling of each person is actually dependent on their relation to the other person. It isn't an experience that I have, which you happen to also have. It is fundamentally an experience we have together. Now you might be thinking, this sounds a bit like magic, but Scheler actually provides a very clear three-part structure. So first, you need a shared intentional object, in this case, the tragedy of their child. Second, there has to be a shared evaluation. They both feel the immense negative value of this loss as grief. And third, and this is really the game changer, there's a reciprocal, non-objectifying awareness of the other as a co-subject in this feeling. They feel together, and the awareness of feeling together is actually part of the feeling itself.
This just brilliantly illustrates the central paradox that Scheler uncovers. Through emotional sharing, you achieve the most profound form of emotional unity possible. But, and here's the paradox, this unity is founded and in fact requires the distinct self-awareness of each participant. It's a unity of persons, not a dissolution into some formless mass.
Okay, so for Scheler, this analysis of feeling isn't just some exercise in psychology. This is the very foundation of his sociology and ultimately of his ethics. He argues that these different modes of feeling we've been talking about are the very glue that holds different kinds of social groups together. So here we can see the direct application of his theory. You've got the crowd, which is basically bound together by that primitive emotional contagion. Then you have what he calls society, or Gesellschaft.
which he sees as a more artificial arrangement of individuals bound by contracts and pure self-interest. But a true community, a Gemeinschaft, well, that's built on a foundation of trust, and most importantly, on the capacity for this genuine emotional sharing, for Mitfühlen.
So, a true community, in Shaler's view, isn't just a collection of individuals or some kind of strategic alliance. No, it is a social reality that is constituted by the lived experience of a we, an experience made possible only by our ability to genuinely feel together. And this, of course, brings us to the ultimate ethical implication of emotional sharing. The capacity to feel with others, to form a genuine community, well, that grounds a very profound ethical principle for Scheller: solidarity.
The move he makes here is absolutely critical. Because we are beings capable of such a deep interconnection, our responsibility simply cannot be confined to our own individual actions. We exist in a state of what Scheller calls co-responsibility.
I mean, this is just a radical reframing of responsibility. Solidarity for Scheller doesn't just mean feeling bad for the victim. It means asking, how did my own actions or my failures to act, my failures to love deeply enough, how did I participate in creating the social and spiritual conditions that made an act of hate like that possible in the first place? My responsibility actually extends to the very health of the entire community.
And that really is the challenge that Shaler's phenomenology leaves us with. It forces us to see that our most intimate, personal, emotional lives are not private, isolated events at all. They are the very substance from which our shared public world is built. And it's a world for which we are all, inescapably, co-responsible. We'll explore the implications of that a bit further next week.